I want to map the road so far before my memory edits the details. The big beats look like this. Early spring. Friendship with a man from neighborhood shifts into flirting. Late spring. Emotional boundary gone. Physical line crossed inside his parked car. 5-month affair, wrapped in Sunday smiles, shared playlists, and a secret email account. 2 weeks ago, husband found a fragment of an email in my drafts while looking for a receipt. D-Day. 10 days ago, I broke contact with the other man and deleted the email account. Today, husband and I are on a prepaid beach break that now serves as a rolling therapy session. 1 hour ago, he walked out of the room after learning I had dragged my best friend into the cover-up more deeply than I admitted. That is the timeline in broad strokes. Inside the strokes are smaller cuts. I told my husband that my best friend only sent one text to the affair partner for me. Tonight he learned there was another. I had forgotten it existed until he brought up a detail and my stomach flipped. I had to come clean. There was indeed a second text arranging a meetup in the parking lot. He left our room without his shoes. I tried to run after him, but he told me he needed distance. So I am here, writing instead of chasing, because chasing always turns into pleading, and pleading turns into promises that crack an hour later when another missing fragment floats up. What am I supposed to do now? I have been spilling everything as soon as it surfaces, but memory is messy. It feels like pulling weeds only to find taproots sneaking sideways under the soil. I keep telling him I am finished with lies, yet new weeds keep appearing, and every one of them slices through his progress. He says each fragment makes the past feel freshly edited, like he can no longer trust any version. We start individual counseling next week, though the couple sessions have already begun. Therapist warned that disclosure is rarely a single event. My husband nodded, then asked if that meant years of sudden landmines. The therapist answered that work can shrink the field, but there is always risk. My husband doesn't like the therapist. He feels she's trying to rug sweep and comes to my defense too much, simply because she's a woman. I've dismissed his claims. It's all in his head. Right now, I want practical advice on shrinking the field faster. Jotting down everything I can remember? Polygraph? Hypnosis? I will try anything. I am terrified that he will stay out all night and decide his peace matters more than this marriage. Financially, we can survive a split, but barely. The house has 2 mortgages on it because we refinanced to pay for my graduate degree. I am the smaller earner. If he files, the house may go, and I will have to move back with my parents. That is the concrete stake under all the emotion. Any guidance is welcome. Thanks in advance. Update 1, a quick recap since the first post. Husband did return to the hotel room around dawn. We sat on the balcony when he asked for a full written timeline by the next session. I wrote until my hand cramped, then typed until sunrise the following day, then read it aloud in therapy. No new bombs since, though trust is still thin ice. The next hurdle has been disclosure to others. We told his parents first because they watch our daughter after school. They were kind to him and cold to me, which I expected. My parents cried and told us to move in with them if needed. I feel 12 again every time my father texts asking whether I ate breakfast. We also told the other man's wife, which took a lot of courage, and I feel tremendously proud of myself. She works at an old church as office manager. She lunged at me like a mad bitch, but I handled her. 3 days later, she emailed my husband a list of dates the affair partner left for extended lunches. My husband forwarded it to me without comment. Every date matched an entry in the timeline, which saved me from one more credibility collapse. Now I am attending a new church across town. Problem: half the choir once attended the old place. Gossip travels faster than hymnals. I considered preemptive honesty, but husband shut that down, saying he does not want my redemption arc to run on public approval. So I sit quietly, sing softly, and leave when the benediction ends. Yesterday, he asked whether I never cried during the affair. I told him I did cry, alone with the dog, though most of the time I forced the guilt down because feeling it would have wrecked the fantasy. He said that hurt more than if I had felt nothing. I had no answer beyond I am sorry. Money talk happened last night with a counselor present. If he files, we sell the house and split equity. I take my school loan and half the shared credit cards. I can make rent on a small apartment near my parents, but only if I pick up weekend shifts. The counselor asked if I understand the material risk. I nodded. She then asked if I am willing to lose comfort for integrity. I said yes, because comfort without integrity rotted my life. For now, we keep working. He still wears his ring. Mine stays off until he says otherwise. Some days I see a flicker of warmth. Other days the air is heavy, and I know he is replaying old scenes in his mind, adding the affair partner's shadow beside me. I have learned that reconciliation is less about grand gestures and more about hundreds of plain actions. He tells me he is measuring not my words but my consistency. I have 4 months of consistency so far. It feels like balancing a tray of water cups across a rickety bridge. One misstep and the entire load spills. Final update, I waited to post until the paperwork came. I got the paperwork yesterday. Husband told me a few weeks ago that he could no longer picture a future where he felt safe. He said love had turned into vigilance, and vigilance is no way to raise our daughter. He will keep the house by refinancing in his name. I waive equity in exchange for him taking the shared credit cards. My parents cleared their guest room so I can stay while hunting an apartment. I will move on Saturday. The counselor said this outcome does not erase my work. Personal change still matters because I carry myself into every room I will ever enter. She is right, though the truth stings. I wanted my growth to be a gift wrapped for him. Instead, it is luggage for my next chapter. How did we get from hopeful fence building to divorce? 2 shape-shifting issues. First, triggers. A few weeks after my last post, he found a forgotten email backup on an old tablet. Inside were playlist links AP and I shared. He said the music made him feel ambushed, like finding another man's jacket in our closet. I had no idea the backup existed. Another landmine, another drop in trust. Second, my own delayed grief. When the high of fighting for us faded, I entered a fog of shame that sometimes looked like passivity. He would ask how I was feeling, and I would shrug because words felt pointless. That shrug made him feel abandoned all over again. He needed active engagement. I retreated into numbness, and the divide widened. I tried emergency steps, new therapist, even a voluntary polygraph. By then, he had started sleeping in the guest room. Decision made. Our daughter knows we are separating. We told her with careful language in the counselor's office. She cried, asked if we were still friends, then asked if the dog is staying. Husband kept the dog because the yard is bigger. I will have visitation along with the custody schedule. Financial reality, I can afford a small duplex. Still, student loans remain, and they seem unshrinkable at the moment. Friends say I should fight for more equity. I say I signed the papers because money cannot fix what I broke. It's not like I can unsign them. To anyone reading who is early in this mess, stay honest faster than your fear. Trickle information acts like fresh cuts each time. If you already bled your partner dry and they still walk away, your work is not wasted. It will echo in how you parent, how you date again, how you walk into a room. I love my husband enough to finally tell the full truth, but I love secrecy longer. He chose himself over marriage. The counselor says that is what self-respect looks like. I will learn to mirror it in my own life. Thanks for listening. I will not post again because this chapter is closing. The next one starts with boxes in my parents' front hall and a blank lease to sign. I carry a lighter phone, a heavier heart, and no illusions about shortcuts. If you are in the middle of hiding something, drop the mask now. The mask always ends up costing more than the truth.